Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Chen, a 29-year-old pediatric nurse at Memorial Hospital. People say time heals all wounds, but as I sit here in my tiny apartment staring at the crumpled wedding invitation on my coffee table, I can't help but wonder if some betrayals cut too deep to ever heal. The elegant calligraphy on the card, Olivia's perfectly polished handwriting, taunts me. 6 months ago, those same hands forged my signature on inheritance documents, stealing what little security my late grandfather left me. Olivia, my stepsister, the same woman who stood beside me on my wedding day, smiling as she secretly orchestrated my heartbreak. Family comes first, she used to say, but I realize now she meant her version of family, the one where I never truly belonged. Let me take you back to the beginning. 3 years ago, when Dad married Catherine, I was genuinely happy for him. After losing Mom to cancer when I was 12, he deserved another chance at love. Catherine was warm and kind, the sort of woman who could light up a room, and her daughter Olivia, well, she was dazzling. Tall, confident, and impeccably put together. Olivia was everything I wasn't. A high-end event planner with a thriving career, she lived a life straight out of the pages of Vogue. At our parents' wedding, she swept me into a world of glitter and glamour, her diamond bracelet catching the light as she air-kissed my cheeks. "Rachel, darling," she cooed, grabbing my hands like we were long-lost friends. "We're sisters now. I just know we're going to be so close." Her words seemed genuine at the time, and I wanted to believe them. When Nathan and I got engaged, Olivia insisted on being my maid of honor. "What are sisters for?" she'd say, tossing her designer bag onto my couch as we flipped through bridal magazines. "Trust me, I do this for a living. Your wedding will be absolutely stunning." And it was stunning in a way, a perfectly curated disaster. Looking back, the red flags were everywhere. The way Olivia subtly criticized my choices, my dress, my flowers, even the music, with that syrupy smile of hers. The way she conveniently scheduled vendor meetings during my hospital shifts, making sure I was too busy to notice what she was really doing. But the night before the wedding, her plan unfolded in full. I was double-checking my overnight bag when Nathan texted, "We need to talk. It's urgent." At our favorite coffee shop, he sat pale and silent, holding a stack of screenshots. "Rachel," he began, his voice trembling, "please tell me these aren't real." The messages were damning. Intimate exchanges between me and Dr. James, one of the attending physicians at Memorial. Flirty texts, plans to meet in on-call rooms, things I'd never written. "Nathan, this isn't me," I cried. "These are fake." But then he slid his phone across the table, showing me photos. Edited but not obviously so. They showed me and Dr. James in compromising positions, the lighting wrong, the proportions off, but still convincing enough to spark doubt. "Olivia sent these," Nathan said. His voice cracked. "She thought I deserved to know before tomorrow." That's when my phone buzzed with an onslaught of notifications. The same photos and texts had been sent to our wedding guests. My dad, Nathan's family, my colleagues. Everyone. Nathan didn't even look at me as he stood. "I can't do this," he said quietly. "I need time to think." When I got home, Olivia was waiting. She lounged in the living room with Catherine, a glass of wine in hand, looking utterly unbothered. "Oh, sweetie," she said, her voice dripping with Fox concern. I had to tell Nathan. He deserved to know the truth. What kind of sister would I be if I didn't? "You know, those are fake," I said, my voice trembling. "Why would you do this?" Her smile turned icy. "Are they fake, Rachel? Because nobody else seems to think so. Dad's devastated, by the way." Poor thing. I turned to Catherine, searching for an ally, but she just shook her head, her expression weary. "Rachel, honey, maybe it's for the best. Nathan deserves someone who fits." That was the moment I realized I was on my own. Olivia wasn't satisfied with ruining my wedding. She had bigger plans. And as I learned later, the forged inheritance documents were already in motion. She wasn't just stealing my family and my future. She was taking everything. 6 months after my wedding fell apart, I was piecing my life back together one fragile shard at a time. Dr. James had come forward to confirm the photos and messages were fake, but the damage had already been done. Nathan had moved to Seattle, leaving behind unanswered questions, and most of our mutual friends still viewed me with wary, lingering doubt. Work at the pediatric ward became my refuge, Immersing myself in the laughter of children was the only thing keeping me afloat. Then came the call that shattered the delicate peace I had rebuilt. Miss Chen. Mr. Harrison's voice, my grandfather's lawyer, was laced with unease. We need you to come to the office immediately. There's been a situation with your inheritance. I froze, gripping the phone tighter. My grandfather had passed away 2 months before Dad married Catherine, leaving me Creative Corner, his beloved vintage bookstore, and a trust fund. That bookstore was more than a business. It was my sanctuary, the place where Mom and I spent countless hours before she passed. Losing it was unthinkable. When I arrived at Mr. Harrison's office, Olivia was already there. She sat poised on a leather chair, her legs crossed elegantly, Louboutin heels glinting in the sunlight. Her silk blouse and diamond earrings practically screamed triumph. "Rachel, darling," she cooed, as if we were friends catching up over coffee. "Isn't this exciting?" Mr. Harrison cleared his throat, shuffling some papers. "Miss Chen, it seems there's been a change in the inheritance structure. We have documents signed by you 3 months ago, transferring ownership of Creative Corner and the trust fund to your stepsister." My heart stopped. "What?" I gasped. "I never signed anything." "Actually, you did," Olivia interjected with a syrupy smile, sliding a folder across the table. "Remember that day you were drowning in hospital paperwork? I came over to help, and you signed a few things without reading them. Silly girl." I stared at the papers, my signature staring back at me, mocking me. Every loop, every dotted I was identical to my handwriting. My stomach churned. "This is forgery," I snapped, my voice rising. "That's a serious accusation," Mr. Harrison said, glancing between us nervously. "The signatures have been verified by handwriting experts." Rachel's always had a flair for drama. Olivia sighed, feigning exasperation. "Honestly, this is for the best. Creative Corner needs someone with vision and modern business sense. And Rachel, well, you're a nurse. Bless your heart." "It's my bookstore." I shot back, anger burning through my shock. Those books were my mom's life. "Books are so passé," Olivia said breezily, her lips curving into a smirk. "I'm thinking of turning it into a chic cafe boutique. Maybe I'll name it Olives. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?" I turned to Mr. Harrison, desperate. "My dad won't let this happen. He knows what that store means to me." Olivia let out a sharp laugh. "Dad, sweetie, he's the one who suggested I take over. After the unfortunate incident with Dr. James, he thinks you need time to, get your life together." Her words were like a slap. By the time I left the office, my world felt like it had been ripped apart all over again. That night, I sat on my living room floor, surrounded by photos of the bookstore. Mom reading to me in the cozy nook she decorated, Dad helping me sort through new arrivals. It felt like losing her all over again. My phone buzzed, breaking my reverie. It was Sarah, my best friend from nursing school. Just drove past Creative Corner. Her message read, "There's a coming soon. Olive's Boutique Cafe sign in the window. What's going on?" My hands shook as I called her, and within 20 minutes, Sarah was at my apartment, a bottle of wine in one hand and fire in her eyes. "This is insane," she said, pouring us both glasses. "We need to fight back." "How?" I asked helplessly, showing her the forged documents. "She's thought of everything." "Maybe not everything," Sarah said, her eyes narrowing. "Remember Tommy, your brother? The cybersecurity guy?" She nodded. "If anyone can prove Olivia faked those wedding photos and messages, it's him. And if she was sloppy with her digital tracks, he'll find them." The flicker of hope was almost too painful to hold onto. "But we'd need access to her phone, her computer." Sarah cut me off with a sly grin. "Leave that to me. Olivia just posted about her luxury spa weekend. 3 days of digital detox. No phones allowed." As we started plotting, my phone buzzed again. A message from Nathan. My heart skipped a beat. "Saw the news about Creative Corner," it read. "This isn't you, Ratch. I know you'd never give up your mom's legacy. And I've been thinking about those wedding photos. Something doesn't add up." I stared at the screen, my pulse racing. "The universe is sending you a lifeline," Sarah said firmly. "It's time to fight back." We didn't know it yet, but Olivia wasn't finished. Her next move would push me to the brink, testing every bond I had left, including the fragile glimmer of hope Nathan's message had sparked. The next week felt like a high-stakes game of chess, each move deliberate, every piece crucial. While Olivia indulged in her spa retreat, Sarah and I moved our plan into action. Tommy, working remotely, traced the doctored wedding photos to a high-end photo manipulation service. The payment trail led directly to Olivia's business account, but we needed more. The breakthrough came from an unexpected ally. Lisa, Olivia's assistant. She intercepted me outside the hospital one evening, glancing over her shoulder as if she were being followed. "Miss Chen," she said in a hushed tone, handing me a USB drive with trembling hands. "I found these while backing up Olivia's work computer. She'd kill me if she knew I saw them. But you deserve to know the truth." That night, Sarah and Tommy joined me to examine the drive's contents. What we uncovered made my stomach twist. There were emails between Olivia and a professional forger detailing how to replicate my signature. Screenshots of her coordinating with Catherine to convince Dad that I was unstable after the wedding disaster. And the most damning piece of all, a detailed proposal to sell Creative Corner to a luxury developer. She never planned to keep the store, Sarah realized, her voice shaky with fury. The cafe was just a smokescreen. She's selling out to build condos. She's destroying Mom's legacy, I whispered, gripping the USB like a lifeline. As I sat reeling, my phone buzzed. It was Nathan. "Can we meet? I'm back in town." The next afternoon, I found him waiting at our old coffee shop. He looked tired but determined. "I hired a private investigator after I left," he admitted. I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. The PI found links between Olivia and the photo editing service. "I know," I said quietly, sliding the USB across the table. "We have proof now." Nathan's hand covered mine. "Rachel, I'm so sorry. I should have trusted you from the start." Before I could respond, my phone lit up with a flurry of notifications. Olivia had returned early, and she knew Lisa had betrayed her. The text was as venomous as it was chilling. "You sneaky little bitch. Check your email. You have 1 hour to sign over the inheritance or I release these." Attached were doctored photos, me and Nathan at the coffee shop, manipulated to look like we were conspiring. Another showed Sarah entering Olivia's office, edited to resemble a break-in. "She's trying to frame us," I whispered, my throat tightening. "Not this time," Nathan said firmly. His PI was already surveilling Olivia, and Tommy quickly traced the email's origin. It was coming from Creative Corner. Sarah made a call to her cousin, a detective. And I called the one person who needed to see this with his own eyes. "Dad," I said, my voice trembling, "meet me at the bookstore. Please, it's important." When we arrived at Creative Corner, Olivia was inside with Catherine, her laptop open on Mom's old reading table. A thick developer's contract sprawled across the surface. "Perfect timing," Olivia sneered. "Are you ready to sign away your claims, sister dear?" "Actually," I said, holding up the USB, "I have something for you to sign. A confession." Her smile faltered. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" I walked to the store's ancient computer and plugged in the USB, projecting its contents onto the wall. Emails appeared, discussions of forged signatures, manipulated photos, and plans to dismantle the bookstore. Catherine's emails flashed next, detailing their schemes to discredit me. Catherine gasped, stepping back as Dad's face turned pale. "It's not what it looks like," she stammered. "Really?" Nathan's PI stepped forward, his camera recording. "Because it looks exactly like fraud. You set me up." Olivia lunged for her laptop, but before she could erase anything, Sarah's cousin, now officially on duty, stopped her. "Olivia Jackson," he said, pulling out a pair of handcuffs, "you're under arrest for fraud, forgery, and conspiracy." As Olivia was led away, Catherine broke down, spilling every detail. How Olivia orchestrated the wedding scandal, manipulated the inheritance, and convinced Dad I was unfit to manage my own life. Dad turned to me, his face heavy with regret. "Rachel," I let her cloud my judgment. "Your mother always said love means seeing the truth, even when it hurts. I failed you." Tears streamed down my face as he pulled me into his arms. "You didn't fail me, Dad. She fooled us all." Justice came swiftly. Olivia and Catherine faced legal consequences, and the inheritance was restored. Creative Corner didn't just survive, it flourished. Nathan and I worked together to renovate the space, preserving Mom's cozy reading corner while adding a small coffee bar. Sarah started hosting children's story time on weekends, her laughter filling the once quiet aisles. 6 months later, I stood in that same reading corner, this time in a simple white dress. No grand wedding, no pretenses, just close friends, my dad and Nathan, promising to always trust and fight for each other. Now when the store quiets at night, I sit in Mom's old chair and reflect. Olivia's greed nearly destroyed everything I loved, but it taught me something important. Family isn't about shared blood or names on paper. It's the people who fight for you, who see the truth when no one else does, and who help you protect what matters most.